Have you ever felt more nervous than your child during a match? Your palms sweat, your heart races. But here is the catch. Your child feels this too. They pick up our stress. Children are very sharp. They don't just listen to our words, they read our faces, our energy. That's why rule number 1 is parents often tell me, Surabhi, my child has a big tournament coming up and I feel more nervous than my child. And you know what? That's absolutely normal. Neuroscience research shows that when parents watch their children play, their brains mirror neurons fire as if you are the one playing. That's why your palms sweat, your heart races. But here is the catch. Your child feels this too. They pick up our stress from the way we walk, we talk, from our expressions, even from the silence in the car ride. And when they sense that, it doubles their own pressure. So before we dive deeper, tell me in the comments, have you ever felt more nervous than your child during a match? Type yes if this has happened to you. You will be surprised how many parents feel the same. And now, let's see if pressure is natural. How do we make sure it doesn't spill over onto your children? The first step is learning to manage our own reactions. See, children are very sharp. They don't just listen to our words, they read our faces, our energy. That's why rule number 1 is don't magnify the moment. Yes, don't magnify the moment. Even if it's a national or state tournament, let your child feel like it's just another game. Because the moment we keep repeating, this is a big one, this is important, the child's brain flags it as danger. And neuroscience shows us when the amygdala, fear center of our brain is overactive, focus drops. So keep things steady. Same breakfast, same jokes at the table, same warm smile. This stability sends a powerful message to your child's brain. You are safe. You are ready. And now, once we know how to control pressure, the next big question parents ask me is, Surabhi, then how should we prepare them? Now, this is interesting because preparation is good, but over preparation, it backfires. When we stretch practice endlessly, when we repeat the same advice again and again, the child's brain starts releasing too much cortisol, the stress hormone. And high cortisol blocks the prefrontal cortex part, the part responsible for strategy and focus. So the more we push, the less sharp their brain becomes. What's the trick now? The trick is balance. Let them practice well, yes, but once practice is over, switch off, laugh together, go for a walk, recharge. A cool brain plays sharper than a tired and anxious one. And by the way, if you missed my previous video where I explained why children actually make silly mistakes even when they know the answer, do watch that video after this one. You will see how it connects beautifully to today's topic. Now, if preparation is about balance, then how do we motivate our children before the big game? See, children in competitive sports are already motivated. They feel the weight of the game more than we realize. So when we say, be confident, go, win, it often lands as pressure. So what to do? Instead, motivate them through stories. Tell them about a funny incident of your own childhood or a time you failed, learned, and bounced back. Stories reach the brain without activating pressure. They inspire gently and children draw their own lessons. And this becomes even more important after a match because whether they win or lose, what you say next decides how they see themselves. And this brings us to the super important thumb rule. In tournaments, one thing is guaranteed. There will be wins, there will be losses. Neuroscience actually calls failure the fastest teacher. Every mistake creates a fresh pathway in the brain for future learning. But often, what happens? The child comes out and parents immediately ask, Why did you miss that move? Why didn't you win? Why didn't you try a little harder? That only adds shame. Yes, it only adds shame. Instead, notice their effort. Say something like, I loved how you kept fighting till the end, my boy. This builds resilience. And resilience matters because in games like chess, you lose one round but must sit down again for the next. That up and down cycle, lose, rise, lose again, rise again, is an emotional training. But here is the balance. While we avoid scolding after a loss, we must also watch carefully after a win, because that's when another problem comes up. And that problem is overconfidence. One big win and suddenly the child feels relaxed, thinking, I have got this now. Now parents don't need to crush that confidence. Confidence is healthy, but it should walk hand in hand with consistency. Consistency is the key. Your role here is to quietly keep the routine intact. Make sure daily practice happens without drama or without nagging. Because when practice becomes a steady habit, confidence stays grounded. And if you look at all these aspects, pressure, preparation, motivation, results, overconfidence, you will notice they all come down to one skill. And that skill is mental toughness. Competitive sports are not just a test of talent or physical practice. They are really a test of the brain. How focused is the child? How well can they regulate emotions? How quickly can they bounce back after a fall? How they take decisions to strengthen these mental muscles. That's exactly why we run this cognitive training program, to strengthen these mental muscles. Think of it like a gym for the brain. We train focus, resilience, dynamic decision making, and emotional balance, not only in children but also in youth and adults. Because when they feel calm, they perform better. If you would like to know more about how our training works, check the description below or contact us directly. We will be happy to support you. So parents, remember this. Keep routines normal. Prepare without over-preparing. Share stories instead of pressure. Celebrate effort more than results. And keep practice consistent. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe, press a bell icon and share it with other parents. Together, let's raise children who play with focus, heart and joy. Results will come. Thank you for watching.